church gon' glow, boy, we going everywhere. Giving back shots, bitch, pulling on the hair. She airing up my business and I don't care. I'm sparking up the blunt, put it in the air. She like church, girl, you ain't playing fair. And no, girl, we ain't playing fair. She like church, why you so mean to me? Yeah, you don't know what you mean to me. And no, girl, I ain't friendly. Bring 2 girls over, we can get friendly,
Shorty wanna ride with me. Book a flight, come fly with me. She wants to spend the night with me.
Yeah, hey, shorty wanna ride with me. Shorty wanna slide with me. She wanna get high with me. Know you wouldn't lie to me. Said she would die for me. Shorty wanna ride with me.
Welcome to the Meat Pack Sports Podcast, where motherfuckers get their dick chopped off, where bitch ass motherfuckers get their head and shit ripped off, and then they get pissed down a motherfucking decapitated ass, mutilated head / throat, my nigga, you feel me? Bitch ass motherfuckers will feel the goddamn wrath of all involved, my nigga, you know what I mean? It's uncut, it's dirty as fuck. And bitch, we deliver the motherfucking goods each and every time for you bitch motherfuckers.
You heard it there first. Shout out EDP for the intro again. But boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Meat Pack Sports Podcast. Today's date is 11/3/2020. It is election night. I'm your host, Michael Rogers. Per usual, got 2 co-hosts with me, Mr. Michael Richman. Say what's happening.
What is good, my fellow meat?
What's going on? We got the boy Nick Twigg in the house.
Hello.
What's going on? Going to get into some football here. Going to start off with some NFL. Going to recap just kind of all the games we saw over the weekend. First thing I want to address was the trade deadline being today. Really thought we were going to see some big stuff happen, some crazy moves happen to shake up the league, but we got absolutely nothing. There's a couple of really small trades. I know right down at the wire, Miami traded a receiver, I think, to the Patriots, but that's really about it as far as today. I know a couple of trades happened over the past couple of days. Avery Williamson going to the Steelers, and then what's his name there from Cincinnati getting traded to Seattle. But as far as today, nothing really going on. It's kind of disappointing. I was hoping to see some big splashes, maybe a Julio, you know what I mean? Just a little something more. And it makes me think, though, I'm not really sure. I mean, do you guys think that has anything to do with like the COVID stuff and just like trying to get new players in there and whatnot? I mean, I don't really know. I'm not sure why, we didn't see all these teams that we thought were going to be sellers just not really make any moves. I don't know. What's your guys' opinion on that?
Yeah, I think that's probably definitely part of it. I don't think people want to just mix things up at this point in the season with COVID going on. Just a lot of unknowns of bringing new people into the facility. So it's probably the most I don't know what you want to call it. Probably the most leading factor in that and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's still pretty crazy that what did the Jets get in exchange for Avery Williams?
Like a 6th round pick or something?
Yeah, like 5 or 6.
Wow, yeah. But I was expecting, I forget who said it, but I saw somewhere on Twitter, can't give credit. They were saying Fitzpatrick was going to end up on the Cowboys. And I read that and I was like, wow, that's going to fucking happen. And then, like you said, there's really just no big moves. Like no one moved at all. They're talking Julio's gone, Odell's gone. They're saying Matt Ryan, see you later. Yeah, like nothing.
I know. A big one today too is Will Fuller going to the Packers. Houston, I guess, wanted a second, and the Packers just weren't willing to give that up. I just don't think that makes any sense. Green Bay's window is only so big, and they can't keep relying on Devontae Adams the way they do. I said during last night's game, I think they go out and take a flyer, try to get a Golden Tate, because you could probably just get him for 6th, 7th, just someone else to maybe give a threat in that wide receiver core for the Packers. But yeah, no other trades. When we go down the list here, the games. We can maybe talk some more about that. But first game we want to talk about here is Falcons-Panthers. That was a Thursday night game. And these are two teams that I thought would maybe be in the running for either selling or buying. Definitely thought the Falcons were going to, just go with everything. Try to get as much draft capital as they can. They're not going to be very good this year. And I thought the Panthers were kind of going to be buyers. Just, I know they're 3-4 now, but I really like the Panthers roster. I think they got a nice young defense. I don't know if Teddy Bridgewater's the guy or not, but, they got a good receiving core. Davis there at the running backs filled in very good for what's his name there?
McCaffrey. He should be back this week as well, I believe.
This week?
I think so, yeah.
Wow.
So, Panthers, I thought maybe they'd try to buy in to go for a little run. And the only reason I say that is just because they have Teddy for the next couple of years. So I'm not sure, what else they should have done. But, yeah, I mean, that game was all right. Like, these are two teams, I think, too. They're not bad enough to be, the top 8 in the draft, but they're obviously not going to be in the later half of the picks, because I just think the Falcons, are too competent enough they're going to win some more football games. Like, I know the defense is bad, but Matt Ryan can win you at least a couple more football games, and same with the Panthers. Panthers just might have that 6-10, 7-9. I think they're good enough to win a couple more football games. I'm not too sure. What do you guys think about that game?
I was pretty surprised the Falcons won that game. I think the Panthers are quite a bit better than the Falcons. Even with Ridley going down, I definitely did not think they had a shot to pull it out at the end.
Yeah.
That was pretty surprising as well. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what the offense is going to look like without Ridley out there. I would assume Julio probably gets like 10 to 12 targets a game.
Should.
Yeah, he had 10 targets last time, catching 7, going for 137 yards, having a huge night.
Past couple weeks, he's been.
But on the Falcons, though, they also got this crazy kicker, Young-Ho Koo. Who is 19 for 20 on the year, 95%. And that boy just be kicking. He's a great fantasy player. I actually have him in one of my leagues, and
I do too.
He's really been coming through. Just the Falcons have been getting it done in the red zone. And then when they do, we get that extra point. I don't know. I think he's at like 71 points on the year, something like that. Something crazy. Like, I don't know. From the kicker perspective, like he's looking nice.
Young-Ho Koo? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
On the season? That's crazy. Dude's just got a monster of a leg, just kicking field goals. Yeah, but another game. We'll just keep moving down the list here. A little Vikings-Packers action. Did not see this one coming. I did say on last stream, though, Dalvin Cook has a field day. The Vikings win that game, and that boy, Dalvin Cook went out there and just
dummy.
Just went stupid, dude. Just full on. And then what was some crazy stat? You guys said it was like the first Vikings player since 1979 to have like 4 touchdowns in a game with Ahmad Rashad. You guys know who Ahmad Rashad is?
That's a deep cut. Right?
That's a deep cut, dude. And like I did not know that dude was a football player. I knew he had like an NBA show or something, dude. That was crazy when they said that stat. But yeah, Dalvin Cook ate up. Definitely didn't see that score coming.
Yeah, I knew the Packers' run defense was pretty bad. They are technically worse in the league. I didn't think they were that bad, though.
I mean, yeah, especially with a guy that's as good as Dalvin Cook. I know he's commonly thought of as like one of the better running backs in the league. But man, he's in that conversation for maybe 1-2. I mean, I think that dude is really that
This
good.
season, yeah, he's absolutely going crazy. He's what do we got? 30 carries for 163 yards with 3 touchdowns.
That's nuts.
And that's countering Aaron Rodgers versus Devontae Adams over there, who also combined for another 3 touchdowns on the other side of the ball. Game was actually crazy to watch, but you always get those crazy shootouts with those Vikings-Packers. I know there's some bad blood there for those fans.
I know. And going into the season, the Vikings have been the biggest surprise bad team to me so far. I just, I know Kirk Cousins is iffy.
Hit or miss.
I thought they had a good enough roster to win some games, but hey, we never know. I think they're 3-5 right now, and maybe they go on a run, maybe they get a little hot, at least break 500 over the next couple of weeks. We'll just see if we get they can step it up at the quarterback position. The Ngakwe trade still doesn't make sense to me. I think, especially after a win like that, I think you'd be looking back thinking now, hey, we could kind of use him, because I just don't see the Vikings tanking at all. I think they would have gotten rid of more pieces if that was their move. But yeah, that was definitely pretty good game. Always like to see a good Vikings-Packers game. On the other side, we got some Bengals-Titans action. We've been raving about Joey Burrow, Joey B, for the last couple of weeks. I mean, this dude just kind of has it. Definitely didn't see that at all. I think we all hammered the under for the Titans. And Joey Burrow just went out there and did the damn thing on him. And, he just looked so impressive. I've said before, if I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan right now, the record at the end of this year still probably won't look good, but I think you guys are in really good hands. I don't know what you guys think about that performance.
Yeah, future is definitely pretty bright for him. He's definitely probably the best rookie quarterback we've seen in quite a while.
It's going to be neck and neck, him and Herbert, I think, for a while. Definitely Joey Burrow ahead, but I mean, Justin Herbert's playing great football right now.
Yeah,
agreed.
But
I mean, the crazy thing about that game was this was the first time we didn't see Joey Burrow get in the game and just get absolutely blown the fuck up. There were 0 sacks on him, and he was only hit twice. So this was the first chance he really got to just sit in the pocket and kind of do his thing. And you could just see the man's legit, like when you give him a chance.
Yeah, give him a chance. You get a good line around him. That just shows, hey, if we can keep this guy on his feet, he's going to go out there and make plays. They got a really good young offense. Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins at the receivers, a couple good running backs there. Yeah, that's a really exciting team. I think the AFC North is in good hands for a while. We're going to stick with the AFC North here, talk about a little Steelers-Ravens action, which to me, the Ravens should not have lost this game. I don't think
it really shouldn't have.
Raises more questions to me about Lamar Jackson. He's obviously still a great quarterback. I just think when you're relying so much on him just being an athlete, I think that's where you're gonna have problems. I mean, I think they had over 200 something rushing yards yesterday to like Pittsburgh was held under 100. I mean, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna win that game, but Lamar Jackson just had some turnovers, and to me didn't really look too impressive. And the Steelers were able to sneak one out of there. Definitely
I think you said it exactly right, saying Lamar kind of literally lost the game for him.
Yeah.
The stat I got for him here, he had 3 fumbles, but he lost 2 of them. He finished 13-28 with a 12.5 QBR, like just not playing well at all.
Just not good.
With all the chips on the table, he's just shown time and time again he cannot get it done. Every playoff game he's played in, he's looked pretty subpar, and this game was huge for them as well. He just couldn't get it done.
I agree, and I don't mean to hate on Lamar. Like, he's awesome. He's such a freak athlete, but I just don't know if he gets the quarterback side of the job done.
Yeah, I can agree with that. You look at, the Patty Mahomes and the Russell Wilson, like 2 guys that are very good on their feet and can make plays happen, but at the end of the day can throw the ball exactly where they want it. And maybe things would be different if the Ravens got themselves another running or a wide receiver. Maybe Des Bryant can have a little resurgence, get a possession guy. Because right now, I think Mark Andrews is the leading receiver on that team as the tight end.
Yeah.
He's a very, very solid tight end. To me, the biggest thing with Lamar is I think like that works. I think that style of play works. I definitely see throughout his career, they're probably going to win a lot of games. He's going to put up really good, like half and half numbers. I don't think his passing yards are ever going to be insane. The or 5,000 range. But he'll be on some Cam Newton, Mike Vick. He'll get you probably 2,500, 3,000 passing yards and get you probably 1,500 rushing yards. And like I said, I think that style of play works. I just think now it's that, last year he just tore up the league because, like I said, we've only ever seen a Lamar Jackson prototype in the Mike Vicks and a little bit of Cam Newton. Cam Newton's obviously just much bigger, more physical. But it's like when you have a guy that's athletic, that can run around like that, it's very hard to gauge what they're going to do. But now that teams have a year of film on them and can start to break down, I mean, their offense just seems very limited without, kind of a number one receiver. Hollywood Brown is obviously a really solid player. But I don't know. I feel like we're just kind of shitting on like the Ravens. I still think they're a great team. I think they'll be there, but just some questions are raising with Lamar Jackson, and
Yeah, I agree. They're a great football team, but the Steelers are just point blank better. I think this season.
I think
The
Steelers
Steelers
are
are
football right now.
Yeah, I'm starting to lean that way. I think it's going to come down to the Steelers Chiefs on that side of the ball.
Man, that'd be a matchup, but that's like I said before. I don't know if the Chiefs prove every week that, hey, to beat us, you're going to have to score points, and obviously the Steelers can do that. At that pace, I'm not sure. That defense definitely has them in that conversation because that defense is insane.
Do they play during the regular season? Do either of you guys know?
This year, I don't. I'm not
think
too
so.
sure.
Yeah.
No. Otherwise, really good game. Steelers snuck out 7-0, only undefeated team in the league. That's pretty awesome to see. Going to move on to the next game I want to talk about here for a minute. A little Dolphins-Rams action. Tua time to where, I don't think he was that impressive. I don't think he didn't really have to do much, though. I mean, that Miami defense was incredible. What were they up? I think they were up like,
It's 28-7 at one point, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, I think going into the half, they had a huge lead. They got themselves a touchdown off a punt return, a little special teams action, a scoop and score fumble, I think, got themselves another pick or two. So the defense was playing out of their mind. And so I want to give a little take here on what I think with Tua and address kind of the Dolphins fans that were a little up in the air and on possibly giving Tua the start so early when Fitzpatrick was playing really good. And I think it's because I don't think the Dolphins are completely all the way set on having Tua. Now, I know that sounds crazy. I know they just drafted him with a 5th overall pick. But there's 3, 4, 5 quarterbacks coming out in this draft that are legit players. And I think the Dolphins wanted to throw Tua out there as soon as possible to prove, like, hey, here's 10 games or whatever to see if, hey, this dude's actually the guy. Dude's had like 5 surgeries in college. He came off a career-threatening hip injury, and it's kind of like, I know you drafted him with a 5th pick, but I would think at the end of the season, if you're not very sold on him and you don't really think he's the guy, I could see the Dolphins kind of pulling what the Cardinals did last year and how they got Rosen the year before and then just said, we're going to get Kyler. We just think he's the better guy. Now, I might be sounding crazy and that might just be a stretch, but I just get the vibe from that because they still just have so much draft capital. I think they're going to be a good team. I think they're one of the better coach teams in the league, despite what the record says. Dolphins games have been fun to watch this year in the later half of last year. So, I don't know. That's my little take on Tua. I hope he does good. Watching him in Alabama is crazy, but I don't know what you got. We got some cat action.
Yeah, my bad.
So I don't know what you guys think about that.
I don't think there's a situation where they're going to get a Justin Fields to Trevor Lawrence. I think they're pretty committed to Tua in the near future, at least. I'm still pretty shocked they threw him in over Fitzpatrick. He was playing super well, so they must have quite a bit of faith in him if they're going to do that. So I would imagine they're still pretty high on him, but off a 1-game sample size, can't really say much.
Well, see, that's the thing, and I that's why I don't want to come across and think and say that I don't think they don't have confidence in them. I just think they're not all the way sold 100%. I think if they were into one of those positions where they could look at a Trey Lance or a Justin Fields, they would definitely think about it, depending on how he plays the rest of the season. But yeah, he only played one game. It's a small sample size. He threw over 100 yards. Did throw that one touchdown he had. I thought was a really good pass. We'll definitely see next week, though, because the Dolphins defense definitely carried and held down that game. I know the Rams were coming off a short week and then, flying from LA all the way down to Miami on a short week and whatnot. Those players were probably a little, I think they might have lost that game either way, but Dolphins look good. I think, like I said, that's a very good coach team. They still have so many draft picks throughout the next year or two. They got a bunch of young stars and kind of just this offseason surrounded them by some kind of veteran guys to get that locker room right. So, I think Miami's another really good situation. If you're a fan, I'd be really excited to be a Dolphins fan, over the next couple of years and see if they can get it around, being in the AFC East, because we'll talk about another AFC East team right here. Has some Chiefs and the Jets action. What was the minus for this game? Do we remember? Because I'm pretty sure
it was like 19, I believe.
Plus 19, yeah.
That's crazy. Talking about the AFC East, Jets are obviously going to have a 1-2 pick this year. They're going to get a quarterback. The Bills are obviously trending upward. I think the Dolphins are going to be trending upward. The Patriots, not too sure. We'll see what happens. But the Chiefs absolutely crushed them. The Jets, that's just the worst probably display of I don't know, dude. I'm really just out of words. It's been hard to talk about. I don't like talking about it each week. It's just embarrassing to see. I think for the rest of the year, as far as the Jets go, I thought there was maybe a small chance today he got traded, but I knew it wouldn't happen. Sam Darnold. My take on that, though, is, dude, I think they should just sit him the rest of the year. Just don't even – he's still going to be valuable. Don't risk him getting hurt. I know he's getting an MRI on his shoulder or something today, but, so I don't know if he plays next week, but I would just shut it down. I would just shut it down for the Jets, shut it down for Sam Darnold.
Got to throw Flacco in their last 9 games.
Why not at this point?
I agree with you. I think that Jets front office, the fact that Adam Gase still has a job just shows this season is straight up rebuild mode. Like, they're not even going to try. So I think you're right. Even if Sam Darnold is able to play again, I don't think he plays the rest of the season. No way. I mean, I don't even got words either, dude. The Jets are so trash. I feel bad for Frank Gore. Dude's getting like 25 carries for 30 yards trying to reach his stat. I forget who he's chasing right now, but it's just brutal. It's really hard to sit down and watch a Jets game, even when the Chiefs are so fun to watch.
I know. Chiefs are just running up a field. And what is it? Next Monday, we got a primetime Jets and Patriots game, and
it's a fucking doo-doo bowl right there, boys. Are you kidding me?
I'm a fan, bro. So, I'd live to see Jets primetime games, bro. But that's just a fucking...
They're going to put Booger McFarland back on the broadcast for that one.
Man, they should throw him in under center, bro. Have him throw a couple passes. And anything could work, dude. I just... I don't know. I've seen the Jets community be split in half. People wanting to keep Sam Darnold and getting the King's ransom picks, or just completely shifting the culture. And I don't want to keep hammering this and talking about it, but at this point, I just think with the environment he's been in, the head coach changes, and probably just his overall confidence, it's shot. He's constantly probably hearing in the news every day in all these sports talk shows us talking about the same thing about, how they're going to get Trevor Lawrence and whatnot. And it's probably just getting to him. I think he just needs to be in a good situation under a veteran quarterback for maybe the rest of the year, or for a year for that matter, just to, watch good football and learn from somebody good. Because And the thing is, too, I don't think Trevor Lawrence is going to walk right into the league and turn the Jets into a 10-6 team. That's not what I'm saying at all. But, with all the draft capital they're going to have, especially if they do trade Sam Darnold, having all those draft picks, having Trevor Lawrence is going to be a very, I think, hot spot. And being in New York for a head coach to actually want to come there, like I said, $90 million in cap space. so they can obviously get some highly talented players while whoever the quarterback is on a rookie deal. But I'm not sure. We'll talk more about that because, I know you might don't really watch college football, but there's a couple other quarterbacks coming out I think we're definitely sleeping on. And Justin Fields is great. Trey Lance, we just don't have enough tape on him. Kyle Trask from Florida looks really good. So we'll see. I don't want to talk about the Jets anymore. I'm just not looking forward to that next Monday night game. I'm obviously going to watch it. I'll put my jersey on like an asshole. But I know, Mike, you said that's one they could possibly sneak. I don't think so.
I'd still stand by it. I think by the end of the season, they're not going to go 0-16. Like, they'll get one. I don't know who it's going to be, but
For sure.
Well, see, that's the thing. I think if they were to start I think Flacco could win you 1 or 2 ball games at the end of the day. And one of the only shining stars are things to take away from this Jets season is Jamison Crowder. I think is very slept on. He's looked very impressive. And same with Sam Darnold. I mean, Sam Darnold has made some plays where you think, hey, that's the guy right there. And then he's just made other shit that's like, I could do a better job than that. But, I don't know. I don't even want to get into Adam Gase. So we'll just move off that. We'll talk about another game. Speaking of the Patriots, we'll talk about a little Bills-Patriots action. I thought at the end there we were going to see the Patriots march down, win themselves a football game. Cam Newton coughed it up. Patriots just aren't having a good year. I think the Brady-Belichick conversation has to be over for now. Patriots just don't have players, and it shows. They just don't have any playmakers. Cam hasn't looked the same. Like I said last show, I think it's a little half and half. He hasn't been playing good, but he really doesn't have any weapons to throw to. Their best receiver is James White. It's just, I don't know. I'm not sure what they do. I thought maybe they'd be in a selling mode today at the trade deadline. There was talks about stuff on Gilmore going. They wanted a first for him. I know he's the former defensive player of the year, but he still has a lot of money owed to him. And giving up a first round pick, I'm just not too sure. I don't know who would have got him. I thought maybe we would have saw something crazy like the Chiefs or something go out and get him, just make a huge splash play. A team that obviously wouldn't.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's obviously a team wouldn't need that.
It's an NBA trade.
That's an NBA trade right there. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say the Bills looked exactly sharp. I mean, their defense did not look very good for being a defensive-minded team. But I don't know. I think the Bills are going to be all right for a while. I definitely think they run this division for the next year or two. Like I said, until maybe either the Dolphins can catch up or, the Jets can miraculously turn that around in, a year or two. But I think the Bills are in good hands. Josh Allen, I think, will be a top 10 quarterback for a while if he just figures out, a little bit better accuracy and whatnot. But he's been really fun to watch this year. And so have the Bills. So, I mean, that was a fun game. Sucked to see Cam Newton fumble it, man. Cam Newton's, I know some stuff off the field. He's got a big personality, but Cam's been that dude for the last 10 years, man. Cam is just one of those guys who just, I don't know, dude. He'll come out and do the Cam Newton style, dude. It's just like, I don't know. I hope they figure it out. I don't know if he's the quarterback there for, after this year. I'd like to think, and I think if the Patriots thought they were going to lose and just not be good this year, I would think they'd want to throw Jarrett Stidham out there just because, hey, we drafted a quarterback. He's been sitting here. At least let's kind of see, what he's worth, what he's made out of. Is he any good? Maybe he could be the answer or something. And I know Belichick has said that Cam is going to be their quarterback, but, I think if they lose a couple more games in a row or it's just not looking good, we might see some Stidham start some games at the end.
I think Stidham stinks. The one game he played like a half through 4 picks.
I don't even remember the last time when was that?
It was a game where Cam had COVID, where he missed a couple weeks.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I forget who started. I forget who actually started for them.
It was Hoyer.
Yeah, Brian. He started the first half, and he was playing so terribly they threw in Jarrett Stidham, and he did remarkably worse than Brian Hoyer did.
You're not wrong. Yeah, I forgot all about that.
It was definitely a Patriots dumpster fire season. Just going into this game, though, I thought the Bills were going to just absolutely blow their faces off. Just 20 years of pent up aggression of getting dumped on in their division. And the Patriots almost won it. Like Cam Newton literally lost them the game with that fumble, but it's unfortunate. But I don't know. I would have took the Bills like by much more point.
Yeah, I agree. Good game though. However, what else in that 1 o'clock window? I had a little Raiders Browns game.
That was also a doo-doo bowl. Shit, that's so bad.
And like I don't know what to walk away from this game thinking. Are the Raiders legit? Are the Browns just bad?
Look at the score.
I don't know what to think, dude. 16-6.
It's an ugly score.
And the Browns have been just this team this year that's just they're crushing these bad teams. And then when they lose to a good team, they come out and say they have this underdog mentality. They're slept on, and then they go out and crush the Bengals like it's like that's proven something. And they score 6 points against the Raiders. I mean, I like the Raiders. I think Derek Carr has been looking decent. Him and John Gruden just kind of seem to work. Darren Waller, they got one of the better tight ends in the league. They got some really good pieces on defense. Josh Jacob is an absolute animal. I definitely thought that, if the Browns if the Browns who were I thought they were, does that make sense, dude? Is that English?
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I thought they would have won that game. I just thought they were better than that. I'm just waiting for the Browns just to be consistently, just be able to win some games. I just don't think Baker's that guy. I like him. I like everything else on the team. I just think Baker's holding everything back. You could chalk it up to, kind of the same thing with the Jets. Obviously, the Browns have better players, but just, Baker going through 3-4 head coaches over the last 3 years and everything being crazy with like getting Odell and all that. And obviously hard knocks when he's a rookie. And so maybe there's just a lot of shit going on in that organization. They've been traditionally dog shit. And maybe that just takes a year or two. I mean, they're definitely headed on the right path, a good trajectory. I can't say that, dude. You say that. You say that word for me. Trajectory. There it is. I think it'll definitely take after this year, though, to just get 1 year with Baker, Stefanski, get their schemes down right, get exactly how they want to play football. They definitely win more games when they rely on the running. Obviously, Nick Chubb's not in there, but when they run the ball efficiently, that opens so much stuff up for Baker to be who Baker is. He's very accurate in the short field. And that's just the style of football they need to play. I don't think Baker is going to go out there and just win you games with his arm.
But
I don't know.
That just goes to speak, though. Like, I don't think Baker has to do that in that situation. Like, that Browns team has some great running weapons. This season, we've been seeing them dominate the line of scrimmage with pretty much no one on their line. And just Kareem Hunt's been going crazy. But as well on the outside, Jarvis Landry, even without Odell, Landry's like an insane talent. And I don't know. I think the Browns have been nothing but set up for success, and they just can't figure it out.
Yeah, they just can't figure it out consistently. It's just been so back and forth last week. They obviously pulled out a great, was it overtime or just last second of the game win against the Bengals? And they looked great. Baker was super efficient. It looked really good. And then they come out and shit out 6 points versus the Raiders. And that's just not sure what's going on there, but hopefully they figure it out. We'll obviously give some predictions next week of the following game, but I think that was all for the 1 p.m. games. I'm not missing any. Had a really good game here. So the Broncos and Chargers, this is what I want to say about this. We just talked about Justin Herbert earlier and how I think, hey, he's the guy. Same thing I said about the Bengals, whatnot. I think, hey, if you're a Chargers fan, you're going to be taken care of for the next couple of years. This kid looks really, really good. He's big. He's strong. Cannon of an arm. Can use his legs when he needs to. Had a couple picks that weren't very good, but the opposite side of that is that man, Drew Lock. I just can't get a makeup of Drew Lock. I think he's nice. I don't know if he's that guy. I think the Broncos got some pieces. I'm just not sure. I think he did look impressive during that game. I just feel like he might fly, with the Andy Daltons and whatnots of the world, just more or less. But definitely not a terrible quarterback, and maybe not even an average quarterback, just slightly above average. I'm just waiting to see him go off for a little more. I know the Broncos haven't been able to figure a quarterback out since Peyton Manning left, and that was only for a couple of years. But that was a really exciting game for me to watch. I don't know if you guys caught that one.
Yeah, I saw some of it. It's so sad to see Chargers lose so many close games.
They do.
I say that every week. They should not be losing this many games. Should not be a 2-6 football team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why obviously 2-6 isn't good, but that just shows me hope. Hey, they are playing hard. It seems like everyone's buying into. I don't know if having a bad year this year would put Anthony Lynn on any sort of hot seat as the head coach. I wouldn't think so, just because of what they've had to do with the quarterback. But it seems like everyone's buying into Justin Herbert. They have great weapons on offense, and obviously Derwin James being one of the best safeties in the league being out for the year, that obviously doesn't help. But I say that about the Chargers, and then I look at the Broncos, who, what are they, 3-4 now? What is it?
I'm not even sure.
Whatever their record is, and I'm not sure if I can say the same thing about them. I don't know if their future looks as bright as the Chargers do. Just because I said I still have questions about Drew Lock. To me, Melvin Gordon has kind of looked all right. Philip Lindsay's good when he plays. They're a little old on the defensive side of the ball. I really, really like who's the Roquan? No, that's for the Bears. Who's the opposite side of Von Miller there? Linebacker. Chubb, is it?
Bradley Chubb, yeah.
Bradley Chubb's really solid. And they got a couple other good pieces. I just don't know. Obviously Von Miller's eating up a whole bunch of that cap. And obviously him being older, 31, 32 years old. But I don't know. I've yet to have a gauge on the Broncos. My stock's all the way up on the Chargers. Like I said, it's crazy that they're 2-6 this year. They've lost some really close games. I think, but that's a good sign to me. That's obviously a good sign that they're playing hard and getting in, coming out of these games, not really getting washed or embarrassed or anything. So, only got a couple games here left to talk about. Another game, Saints-Bears action. Bears lost a close one, 26-23. Saints, definitely wouldn't say the Bears look bad, but it's crazy to me to think that they're even in these games, dude. I don't know what's going on in Chicago. I thought they would have got dog walked in there, but they kept it pretty close. Came down to a Will Lutz field goal. He's not going to miss it. But I don't know, dude. I don't know about the Bears.
Yeah, Nick Foles kind of stinks.
Kind of poo-poo doggy dump.
I'd like to see Mitch Trubisky get another shot at the starting QB.
Do you think he does? I don't think he can at this point.
I don't think he will either. I think he probably gets dealt in the offseason. But at this point, I don't know. Nick Foles has been playing so terrible that I think he would almost be a better fit right now in that offense.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's hard to say because Mitch Trubisky is a walking bag of garbage himself. So,
true. It's like you pulled them when they were 2-0. So Mitch Trubisky's undefeated on the season. Obviously, Foles comes in that third game, has a little fourth-quarter comeback against the Falcons, and then it's just been up and down. I mean, we've seen this out of Nick Foles. Nick Foles, to me, is just an anomaly in the NFL. It's just, dude has one of the craziest careers at the end of the day I think we've ever seen. Just hasn't been able to get shit done as a starter. But when you bring him in a situation where he's either a backup or just has no expectation on him,
lights the world on fire.
He just lights shit on fire, dude. And I obviously know 2 Eagles fans here. Gotta love him for the rest of the time, bro. But it's like, I thought him going to the Jaguars, signing that contract, I was like, all right, Nick Foles has a home. Just let him do his thing for the next couple of years. Jacksonville can be competitive, and then first game breaks his collarbone, and then Jaguars just say, all right, everything's got to go. And I don't know for the Bears. I don't know what they do because, like I said, I think Mitch Trubisky does get dealt. I don't even know if I see Mitch Trubisky playing another year of football ever. I just clearly just don't think he's a guy.
Cannot be big. You got to think.
Yeah, I don't. But then what do you do with Nick Foles? You can't start next season off with Nick Foles.
Tough.
And they're too good of a team that, like I said, maybe get one of those young college guys coming out because they're going to finish with a 9-7 record probably. You know what I mean? At worst, 8-8. I think they're going to figure it out. Matt Nagy is one of the better head coaches in the league, so they're definitely not going to be a sorry team. But that's a weird season to watch this year.
Agreed, dude. Nick Foles is honestly just not the issue. I actually kind of like the idea of bringing Mitch Trubisky back in just to try to shake it up, give it a mix. As an Eagle, Nick Foles is an absolute legend. Will go down, probably Hall of Fame. But as a Bear, dude, absolute dog shit. He's so bad. Like he just cannot get the job done, and I don't know how else to say it.
Flash of Foles in the chat.
Hashtag no meat pack.
No Meat Pack Sports Podcast brought to you by Nick Foles, coming soon. We'll get off that game. Saints still, though, real quick, by the way, still no Michael Thomas. I thought they'd make a move at the trade deadline. They made a move for Quan Alexander, who's a linebacker, which will help. But I thought just with this shit going on with Michael Thomas, they'd possibly try to grab somebody just because that's so up in the air right now. But I don't know. We'll move on to the next game. Have a little Seahawks 49ers action. Jimmy G going down. George Kittle going down. I don't know if I see the Niners winning any games the rest of the year. I think they do because Shanahan's such a good coach. And you know what, too? I don't even have this just thinking about. I actually like me some Nick Mullins. I think, obviously he's a little spotty, but he's had to come in a lot. Jimmy G really hasn't been able to stay healthy. And I think Nick Mullins comes in and gets the job done sometimes. They obviously lost, but I don't know if this is a hot take or not either, but I just don't see Jimmy G being a 49ers quarterback next year. I think they got to just cut ties with him. He can't stay healthy when every other quarterback in that division can stay healthy. I don't think Jimmy G is the guy anymore. I never thought he was, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think I agree as well. It's looking like an anomaly that they made the Super Bowl last year in the first place.
Yeah.
Based on this season, they really have not done much. I know they've had a couple of key injuries with Nick Bosa and a couple others going down, but still, they just don't look the same team at all.
They don't. And then
Jimmy G just also fucking trash. I don't know, man. Like you said, that Super Bowl season, there's just something in the water in that locker room. But, you could go ahead and turn around and say the same thing happened with the Eagles. But sometimes you just get on that run, and it doesn't matter who's in that locker room. It's just going to happen. But I don't know. I agree with you guys. I think Jimmy G is boo-boo caca.
Jimmy G spot, baby. Good looking dude, though. Jesus.
Beautiful human.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get past that, though. We'll do a little
one last game here.
Well, two more, son. Sunday night football. We want to talk about some dog shit football teams. Eagles beat the Cowboys 23-9. Carson Wentz 4 turnovers.
Obviously, another stinker.
Talk about it. Just that dude's on pace to have a Jameis Winston season from last year. I know they got players out themselves. That whole team's riddled with injuries, but man, Carson Wentz has not played good this year.
Not even a little.
And obviously, fucking Ben DiNucci shouldn't be on an NFL football team. I don't know who thought the Cowboys would even stand a chance with that. That dude looks like my tax person down at H&R Block, just not a football player. Dude's out here throwing shortstop balls the first dude every other play. But the Eagles didn't look good either, dude. That was a really hard game to watch. I'll let you guys take the floor on this one.
Yeah, I did. I had to turn off after the half. I watched Carson Wentz fumble on 2 out of the first three drives. They went for on 4th and down. He got smoked by Leighton Vander Esch.
Yep.
After that, I saw enough. I went to bed thinking there was no chance they're going to win that game. woke up to see a 23-9 victory. Definitely don't hate that. I think that they might be the front runner in that division, but even at that, it's just not good football.
So let me
Not
give you
good
some
football.
Carson Wentz numbers here. We got 15 for 27, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 2 fumbles. Both were turnovers. No recoveries on the fumbles. Like, that's brutal. I think Carson's leading right now in just turnovers, which is absolutely disgusting to see out of your quarterback. But just going back to the conversation that the Eagles have had since they won the Super Bowl is, they don't have weapons. Everyone's injured. I think at this point, like, Philly kind of got it. Like, they don't have stars, but I think there's some people set up for success in their positions. Fulgham, Rager, Goddard, and Ward, they're not doing crazy, but I mean, they're out there and they're not going to drop it like Aguilar will. As well as Boston Scott had a 70-yard game on 15 carries, and he had 2 receptions as well. I think Boston Scott is a good talent. Yeah. And the short guy has always done well in Philly. We just have always had that short guy running back, and it's always worked. I think the Eagles' defense is great. The D-line, I think Darius Slay is huge. He held Amari Cooper down to like 13 yards or something, but I don't know. I think the Eagles are just fine. I don't see them not being in first in this dog shit division. I cannot fathom any other team coming out of that division. Like, it does not make sense to me.
I say Washington gives them a run for their money.
They don't even have a name.
I like them, dude. Football team.
No, actually, yeah, we were saying that the other week. Like, actually, like Washington, I think that works, but their team's just also dog shit. Like, it's not going to happen.
I thought maybe the Eagles, man, we kept talking about Zach Ertz maybe getting traded. I maybe thought after that game they might have maybe got a piece or two and just said, hey, at least the least we can do is just win this division, which, I mean, I think they ultimately do. But, yeah, just a dog shit division. That was a dog shit game to watch. Not the meat pack we don't want that. But we'll digress. We'll move on to the Monday night game last night. Buccaneers 25-23 over the Giants, which I'm surprised. The Giants look really good. I said last show and I said the show before that. I mean, the Giants look better each and every week. I know they're not winning games, but they seriously do look like they're getting better. Every week, like I said, I'm not sold on Danny Dimes one bit. That dude's turnover ratio is just absolutely insane. They do have some pieces, but the defense looks really good. For the defense to hold the Bucs the way they did up until they kind of broke it loose at the end. I don't know. I thought there's no way the Bucs lose this game. They didn't, but it got tight there for a while. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that game realistically 9 times out of 10 should have gone to overtime. That pass interference call for the 2-point conversion at the end of the game was pretty clear pass interference. I thought it was pretty abysmal missed call by the refs. I thought, but other than that, I don't think the Giants look that terrible. I think Wayne Gallman. I threw a bet up on Twitter that for Wayne Gallman scoring anytime touchdowns like plus 220. I was pretty happy with that. Mm-hmm. And other than that, Bucs are really not that good. I still don't think. I think
that's crazy, bro. I think you're crazy.
Yeah.
That defense.
What's the record at this point?
6-2.
6-2. It was a pretty dumb bet on my part. No, saying that they wouldn't make the playoffs.
Money.
I don't think they come out of the NFC as a contender at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think it's smoking dicks or something, dude. There's just no way, bro. The defense is so good, and just Tom Brady, I think, hasn't looked bad. I don't know. One thing I do want to talk about last night is how much fucking shit Bruce Arians can fit on his head, dude. Because that dude was wearing 3 pairs of glasses. He had the little bonnet going on. He looked like a French art director, dude. Dude's wearing a fucking bomb strapped to his chest, bro. I don't know what was going on, but they were figuring out. He looked absolutely crazy last night, dude.
I agree. Yeah, he looked like a fool. He looked like Mojo Jojo. But whatever, we'll transition out of the football here. We'll move on to a little bit of UFC action. We got some heavy news
Talk
here.
about it.
And I think Dana kind of wanted to start talking about stuff a little bit after that Silva Hall fight, because that was a little bit of a letdown of a fight. I mean, it sucks to see a legend retire on a loss. So I think
he's 45. I don't know what people expected to see in there.
No, I 100% agree with you. I no way he was coming out of that with a W. But first of all, just looking at this lightweight division, we got McGregor versus Poirier is confirmed. I think they're just working on a date. It's proposed January 23rd right now. And the winner of that is most likely going to get a title fight. Right now in that lightweight division, even though Khabib is retired, he did not vacate the belt. He still has it. And Dana said in the same press conference that he doesn't really intend on vacating the belt. And it's looking more and more likely that Khabib is going to come back to try to get that 30-0, which would probably be against Dustin or Conor. So, I mean, that's exciting. Like, I want to see Khabib get that 30-0, if not a rematch with Conor or Dustin Poirier. I think both would be great fights.
But, like, when, though? If he's retiring, like, when? You can't sit around and wait for him.
Yeah, I don't know. This is all proposed, just going off Dana White press conference talkings. But I don't know. The storyline right now is that Khabib's not going away, and someone's going to have to fight for that title.
I mean, I could definitely see Poirier and Conor, but then what about Gaethje? Winner of that fights Gaethje, then fights Khabib. I mean, I don't know. I definitely think
you probably end up getting some sort of playoff with Tony Ferguson, Poirier, Gaethje, and Conor. I'm not sure what the matchups would be, but I think you get
two fights and then those two winners.
You get some sort of matchups between those two.
But see, that's what I'm saying. That take at least probably a year, and then it's like, you know, is Khabib just gonna? I don't want to say hold the division
wait around,
the whole time, but you know what I mean? Because you could do Gaethje, Ferguson, Conor, Poirier, the two winners of that go, and then they fight Khabib. But I mean, you're talking 2-3 fights there. I mean, that'd take a year at least.
I don't think McGregor fights for anything less than a title fight. I really doubt they want to push an interim title fight with him.
Yeah.
So I would assume it's probably going to be him and Poirier for the actual title. I think before they fight, Khabib will vacate his title. I would assume, at least.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, it's really short after he fought. I definitely just see him dropping the title. But then, like I said, what do you do with the interim? What do you do with Gaethje? I could, at the end of the day, if Dana just said, "Hey, this McGregor Poirier fight is for the title," I could definitely see that. And then maybe Gaethje could get a rematch or whatnot. I'm not sure. And, you know, we still have Tony Ferguson sitting there.
It's a stacked up division. We were talking about that last week.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot that could fall into play there. It'd be awesome to see them fight as soon as January. Did they say it was official or not?
They're just. It's official that they're gonna fight. The date is not official yet, but right now it's proposed January 23rd.
Man, I don't know. Yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
No, I'm super excited to see that fight. That's gonna be insane. Love seeing Conor come back into the ring and the hype that comes around him, especially with this huge growth that the UFC has seen during this pandemic. You know, this is the one thing really in the world that has done nothing but grow during this.
Yeah.
But moving on onto this light heavyweight, we got another confirmed fight. We got Adesanya versus Yan for the light heavyweight title.
Where the hell did you see this?
Dana White is talking about it, boy.
Adesanya versus Blachowicz. So Adesanya is going to go up to 205.
Yeah, and he's not vacating the title. So there's another little bit of drama going on there. Whitaker wants a rematch, but he's actually having a baby with his wife, which is due in January, like early next year. Yep, that makes sense. So he doesn't really want to fight till like March or April. So Izzy's going to try to be a 2-belt champ here, a champ. He's going to go for it.
I just see him going up to 205, putting in all that weight, just takes away so much of what he's good at. It just his technical quickness and striking. I just don't see him hitting that power, dude. I mean, we've obviously never seen Adesanya get knocked out in the UFC, but if there was someone that could do it, it's that Polish power, dude. That shit puts you on your dumper, dude. And have you asking when dinner's ready. So I don't know. That just to me sounds crazy. It makes me think why Adesanya didn't do that when John Jones was still at 205. I think he's ducking. Quack. But I don't know. I don't know if I even like Adesanya for that fight, dude. Blachowicz is a monster, dude. And like I said, Adesanya putting on all that weight. I'm not sure what he walks around at, but I'd imagine he's gonna have to put on some bulk up with some muscle, and I just feel like that slows down the things that he's good at. That'd be an insane fight to see, though, dude.
Yeah, definitely not hate to see that. It's another fight that just comes down to power versus precision. I think Izzy's the more technical striker in pretty much every aspect.
Every aspect.
I don't really see either of them shooting for a takedown either. I'm not really sure how either of them are on the ground to begin with either. But I would assume when the betting line comes out, it comes out pretty close. I would assume Izzy probably comes in at a slight favorite. But I don't know. I'd have to think more about it before I pick someone to win.
I agree.
Yeah. I agree with you. And then just one last thing here. We got a little bit of news with our boy, Johnny Bones Jones.
Johnny!
So nothing is confirmed here. He literally just came out with the information that he wants to fight for the heavyweight title against Stipe. But the problem with that, we got Francis Ngannou is up next versus Stipe, and Stipe is not going to be ready till around March, just from his last fight, etc., etc. So I don't know. I see John Jones, especially on Twitter. I don't see him dealing with Adesanya having that light heavyweight belt. I don't think he likes that. Or Jan, whoever ends up winning that. I don't know. I think John Jones comes back to light heavyweight, even though he wants to move up to heavyweight and try to get the belt. But I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Give me John Jones versus anyone in the world. He's going to beat him. He's the best to ever do it.
Facts.
I just any fight you could give to him, I think he's a favorite, and I don't know. I just think he's going to get it done regardless. I don't care who they put in front of him.
I mean, yeah, and he can do whatever fuck he wants at this point. To think, as far as him waiting till Stipe's ready, I don't know.
I don't see him waiting. And if they were to fight, I think John Jones starches Stipe, and Stipe's a bad man. Like, I don't know. I agree with Twigg.
I don't see him taking a non-title fight at heavyweight, though. I think he probably waits it out or just comes back to 205. I don't think there's any middle ground.
I think if Adesanya went to 205 and won, I think John Jones would come down and smoke him, because they've been going back and forth on Twitter for a long time.
That's the super fight.
To me, Adesanya, as great as he is, 19-0, whatever he is, pound for pound, one of the best guys. To me, he is like a lighter version of John Jones. What makes John Jones so good is just technique and precision, and just the shit that he comes up with, and just starting off fights with flying knees and Superman punches, and he's just got such a unique arsenal of strikes and whatnot. And I feel like Adesanya represents that a lot. I know a lot of people compare him a little more to Anderson Silva as far as just the overall striking goes. But just and Adesanya is very long too, and that's one of the reasons John Jones has been so successful throughout his career, is just the length that he have. He's always doing the shit with his hands, keeping the distance from you. So I think he wins ultimately. But I don't know, dude. UFC is about to get shaken up. 2021 is going to be a crazy year, I feel like, for the UFC. We're going to see some absolute shit go down. Still waiting to see what happens in the 170 division. I'm still waiting on Usman Burns. That should be a really good fight. But yeah, I don't know. What else you guys got? Any last little thoughts on that?
That should just about do it, I think.
I agree. I'm just happy to see the UFC see such great success.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Hell yeah. It's been one of the saving graces, especially at the beginning of this whole quarantine, was to get some fights, every Saturday, and then them deciding to do the Fight Island. I thought that was great. Good for them. Good for all the fighters to be able to, keep working through all this. But yeah, I think that about cuts it. It was a good show. Talk about a little NFL action, a little UFC action. Plan on us being back as usual Friday, 8 p.m. As far as this show goes, let's wrap it up. Another episode of the Meat Pack Sports Talk Show in the books. Sign it, stamp it, deliver it. Get the fuck out of here. Peace, Salami Squad, baby.